I know we just saved the day. Superhero, I gon' need a speedo and a cape. X-ray vision through your evil ways. Tell your people don't forget to pray, don't forget to pray, yeah. Do you know that God is on the way, don't forget to pray, do you know that God is on the way, Swag drip when you trap kids who do whack shit for some smash.
We thought it was only right to put this together in honor of AKA Kiernan AKA Forbes. Thank you to all for joining us. We're going to try and keep this short and sweet. We do have load shedding at 8 o'clock. There's not going to be too much formality attached to this. Everyone has received a candle upon arrival. Feel free to light it up. Ladies, just please watch your hair, the space is quite tight. Yeah, without further ado, I'd like to hand over to YoungstaCPT. As soon as the speeches are done, we respectfully ask if we could hold up on pictures. It's going to be quite a ask for Young to take pictures with every single one of you, but live stream, take photos, and we just ask to respect his space. And I also would like just to add, given the nature of the circumstances, we need to protect this man at all costs.
Yes.
Yes.
Like hip-hop is, Young said it best. I'm gonna say two things. In hip-hop, you're dying out, and what he says on the school tour, us as colors, as a demographic, we're becoming extinct. From the ground to wherever you think you are in this life. I'm not singling him out, but he obviously plays an important role out here in society, especially in Western Cape, for our youth, for our kids, and the colour demographic at large. So we all need to do our bit. We need to protect our kids, protect this man, protect the block, support one another. But yeah, I don't want to take too much of your time. Thank you very much.
I wish we were here on, different circumstances.
Yes.
Some of you, I don't know if you have been here before to the block, but welcome to those of you who's your first time making your, I call it the pilgrimage, because I feel like there's no place like this in Cape Town.
Thank you for having us.
Of course, mi casa. So I know that
Easy.
like I said, some of you have never been here before. But yeah, so the reason why we decided to have it here today, number one, it is his memorial today in Johannesburg. So we wanted to also match that energy and give him something in Cape Town. We couldn't obviously do it on the scale that they had organized it in Johannesburg. This was a last minute thing that we decided to do. Being that I was getting a lot of questions asked to me on social media and online, what am I gonna say and what am I gonna do and how do I feel about things. And first of all, I would like to send a shukran to all of you and a thank you for your support and this attention, your presence here, your effort wherever you came from, the traveling, the petrol, the time to bring your family, your kids also. So for me, that shows that number one, this man not only meant something to us as musicians, but he meant something to you even just as a individual, as a brother, as a man of color, as a man from Cape Town. You obviously have been affected somehow by this. Whether you listen to his music or not, whether you liked him as a person or not, that's totally, that's separate. But just the fact that you saw here now for this day, for this reason, tells me that somehow this thing that has occurred, this tragedy that has occurred, this life-shattering moment has affected you. That's why you came here today. because this has obviously been on your mind and it's been on your heart heavily, as ours. So, number one, I say thank you for coming here today. I've never done anything like this. I don't want to do things like this anymore. I hope I don't have to. But for this moment, I felt it was necessary that we show our solidarity and show our compassion and the significance of this place that you are at right now. You have no idea what we have been through here on this block for 3 years. I opened this place in July 2019, and I had no idea a year later was going to be a pandemic or COVID or any of those worldwide struggles that we all endured and went through for the past 2 years. I had no idea that was going to happen. If I did, I don't think I would have opened this place, to be honest with you. I say there's nowhere else like this in Cape Town, because you show me another place you can buy a t-shirt for 200 rand, go get you a haircut for 100 rand, go buy you a pair of tackies, record a song, and go meet my mother and buy clothes from her. There's nowhere else you can do that in Cape Town. I don't care where you go. Long Street, Loop Street, Town, Woodstock, wherever. There's nowhere else that exists like this. And I'm saying all that because Kiernan knew that. He knew there was nowhere else like this in Cape Town. So the day I told him we made the song Main O's, and when he asked me to come up with locations for the music video, I couldn't think of anything else other than my shop, which, by the way, the one you're standing in now didn't exist. The barber shop next door didn't exist. The studio next door didn't exist. My mother's shop didn't exist. Kiernan is the first person to buy something out of my shop from Johannesburg. He was the first person that shot a music video here before me. The reason why that is because I suggested, please come shoot the video by my shop. It wasn't anything yet. It wasn't anything like what you see now. We had no signage outside. When you watch Main O's, look at the background and look at what you see there. That's why I said you will never have a clue as to what it is that took us to get to where we are now at this point. What we had to survive through, what we had to endure, whether it was the looting when they broke in the shop, whether it was the foot traffic that all got taken away from us, no more customers, or whether it was the time limits that we were allowed to open, the days we were allowed to open. You will never understand the kind of struggle that we went through. But in that 9 months before COVID, when I opened this shop, because that's how long the shop was open before COVID, 9 months. In that 9 months, my life changed. Everything changed around me. My friends changed, the area changed, my relationships changed. Some people became jealous and envious of me because of this. Some people stopped supporting me because they felt I became too big now. People saw AKA here and they assumed, oh nah, youngster is no weg van ons. Is he een van ons? He's now there, And by bringing him here, I wanted to make a statement to show people that even though he was raised in Johannesburg, even though he doesn't have maybe the Cape Town accent, or he doesn't rap with gum words, or he doesn't have that Cape Town flair that you're so used to hearing, the Afrikaans and maybe the earrings and the no teeth, and he doesn't understand our areas and stuff. It doesn't mean that he wasn't one of us at all. I picked that up from speaking to him. I met AKA when I was 19 years old. I'm 31. It's not just the fact that I lost somebody that I made a song with or music with or whatever you want to say. It's the fact that this is a man from Cape Town, Belleville, Mitchell's Plain, and he's somebody that rose to levels that all of us in this room hope to achieve one day. Parents, you hope that for your children, and I'm sure even in your younger days you hope that for yourself. There were certain dreams and goals you had, and you didn't get a chance to live that out, but you hope that your children is going to forward your progress and make something of themselves that you couldn't make. And for me, growing up here, I grew up around the corner here. For me, AKA was the only colored rapper that I knew. He didn't sound like me, he didn't dress like me, he didn't come from where I came from. But he was a colored bruh, and I knew he was from here. So in a small way, he was the light. In a small way, he was the example. He was the benchmark. I had to get to that level. And in true Cape Town fashion, do you know what everybody in Cape Town told me to do? Diss him. True Cape Townians. You know what it maak. Everyone just told me, hey, just diss him. Make a diss song for AKA because he's not from Cape Town. And hy sê een van ons, hy sê regte colored, sy is 'n colored man. So sy moet vir hom battle en sy moet vir hom diss. That was what I've been told for maybe like 8 years. 8 years, because we never made a song for all that years. I just knew him. We embrace one another, we speak, we shake hands, we build, we speak about society. He told me how much he admired what I was doing because he couldn't do it. He told me how important I was because he knew the sacrifices it must have taken for me to be where I am. He understood the struggle, even though he didn't live it. And another thing that he always warned me about, and this is the sad part, he always warned me about the jealousy among colored people. He always warned me about the danger that comes with being around colored men and the kind of men that I'm with. You smile, bro, but this is a real thing. It's a real fear that we have. I put it to you this way. When I walk down the road, I see a black man approaching me. I don't really feel much fear. Not really. I could be in a tricky situation, but I also don't have the immediate reaction of, ooh, let me hide my stuff. See that? But see a white man coming down the road, I might even greet this thing, you know? Top of the morning to you, Dave, you know what I mean? I might greet him. That is how little fear I feel. But when I see one of my own brothers coming down the road, in my direction, if there's more than one, God forbid, but if there's just one here, I have a small doubt that this might be the guy. Maybe this is the guy. Maybe this is the one that's been looking for me all this time, and maybe today is the day that he find me. And Kiernan had that paranoia also, because that's what we spoke about a lot. I made a statement yesterday saying that, or not yesterday, or some day in the week, I don't know, the days just feel like they're overlapping into each other right now. But I made a statement that said, if this happened in Cape Town, and the tweet went viral, it just went everywhere. I just got people phoning me, and newspapers were trying to contact me, and TV, and SABC1 wanted me to come there and do a memorial show for him and all those things. And I just thought to myself, yo, I've been making songs for all these years. I've been saying so much meaningful stuff in my songs. I speak about colonization and slavery and reclaiming land and taking back our stolen identity that was, robbed of us. And this is the thing that went viral. When I said something negative, when I said something that had to do with violence or retaliation or revenge, this is what got picked up. I got like 2 million views on that tweet. Let me post a link on my song. We all know how that's gonna go. You understand? So he had fear that I was gonna be killed. AKA Kiernan Jarryd Forbes had fear that I was gonna be killed here in Cape Town. I'm gonna say it like it is for you because you're so all here to hear me speak. So I'm telling you what's on my mind. This is my thoughts. I'm sitting now with my thoughts. I'm sitting a week now thinking about just everything, the last 10 years of my life, because he was a part of it in some way. In some way he was there, he was watching it, the 10 years that I climbed. So the fact that he had fear and worried about me and my safety here in Cape Town, I told him, Kiernan, this is the safest place for me, bro. This is the safest place for me to be. I got my brothers, I got my loved ones, family members, I got people looking out for me. I got the scurrilous, I got babies, I got ones in jail. Trust me, this is the safest place for me to be. And if it comes to that, that somebody eventually does try their luck with me, I already know the outcome. I already know the outcome. If it is that that is how I end up and that is how I fall, then trust me, Cape Town is going to be on fire. Cape Town is going to be on fire. And I told him that. I said, don't worry about me, bro. Just take care of yourself. When he lost his fiance, I called him and spoke with him. Not immediately. I waited a few months to let him grieve and get his mind together also. And I spoke to him about that. And he was dealing with a lot. He was dealing with a lot of emotions. And not too long, his grandmother passed away. Now for those of you who know AKA's story and his history in Cape Town, him and his grandmother's relationship was very, very tight. Whenever he came here, he went to Westridge, which was planned to go visit his granny, without fail. Without fail. I know that about him. He always did it. Whether he posted a pic or whether he just made a shout out to the Mitchell's Plain Owens, but he always made sure that he went there. And when she passed away, I knew how that must have felt for him. And I phoned him to send my condolences. And a week later, my uncle died. And he phoned me to send his condolences. So this is the kind of man that I came to know over the years. But the fact he was here, right here outside, with us. St. Augustine's ladies came out of school the day we were shooting main O's. It probably felt like the World Cup for them. Because they got to see AKA was standing on the corner, eating a lollipop here with the Owens. And that must have made their whole day. The people that we have brought here have always been stars that I say are brighter than me. But the day that he came here, it changed my life, because that song changed my life. I released 3T that year, but more people started paying attention to me after I made main O's. More people started to respect AKA in Cape Town after he made main O's. And the reason for that is because you felt proud that he came back, made a song with one of your own, and I took him to Hanover Park because I knew he was a fan of Benny. AKA was a heavy soccer cop. So I knew that that was like a dream for him. He wanted to see that. He wanted to feel Cape Town. He wanted to put his hands in the sand in Cape Town because he knows this is home. Fast forward, we leave the block, and it was a great moment. I was, over the moon because AKA was in my area. I grew up here. I spent most of my life here. I'm still here. My shop is here. And we fast forward and we take him to Hanover Park. And it's a frenzy. I mean, I don't know if you've seen some of the photos out there, but it's a madhouse. The people are running, the kids is bunking school, men is jumping over the fences, the cars is pulling up, and they just want to see AKA. And YoungstaCPT, because we're together. This has never happened before, And there's a friend of mine, a personal friend of mine, who had asked me to promise him that if I ever shoot a song with AKA, I come shoot the song in Hanover Park. And I made that promise to him 3 years before he died. And he died a week after we made main O's. 1 week. 7 days later, my friend was also killed. And I phoned Kiernan to tell him, hey, my friend, he died. They killed him as well. And we had a long conversation on the phone, and this is when he told me how scared he was for me. This is when he told me how concerned he was about me being here in Cape Town, around the elements that I was around. And I can't believe that it was him that was killed in that way, in that fashion, because I never ever said to him, yeah, be careful how you move, or be careful of the people that you around, or be careful who you associate with. I never said that, because I knew he was safe. He always played it safe. We try to, at least, for the most part. But to just make that that link one more time, taking him there to Hanover Park, us speaking to Benny McCarthy. He sees Benny's house. I show him there, that's where Benny stayed. He picks up the phone, he calls Benny on a video call, FaceTime. And then Benny answers the phone. Benny's in England. Benny don't know what's clapping. Benny don't know where is this man phoning from. We phoning him from the island. We phoning him from Hanover Park. We phoning him from the ground, the soil, the original location of Benny McCarthy. This is AKA's hero. He loves this man. And when Benny sees us, he's also losing it on the phone. Waar is julle? I couldn't believe Benny spoke like us. I thought, bro, Benny still has the accent. Benny said, no, waar is julle? Ek gee die phone, no, look who I'm with. Oh, youngster, wat sê jy? Nee, right groot man, ons is hier op jou grond. Oh, julle is op die eiland. Ons sê, ja, ons is hier op die eiland, bro. Oh, sê salute vir Mr. Marcus, man. And it's so crazy that he remembered people. He spoke like he had never left. And he gave us so much like inspiration at that moment. When I put the phone down, I stood there and I thought, yo, this is all because of me. If I didn't bring this man here, we never would have had that moment. If I didn't bring him there, my brother died 3 years later would never have got his wish. If I didn't bring him there, that community, the colored community of Hanover Park, could have probably never ever stood this close to AKA in their life. But everybody got to shake his hand. Everybody got to take a pic with him. Everybody got their moment to say something to him. And I released a song on Thursday called Benny McCarthy. I made that song last year when Benny became the coach of Man United. I had the song the whole time. There were things that I had to first do before that song came out, so I did those things. The song was scheduled to release the 16th of February. There was never another date. I spoke to Kiernan on January the 7th, no, sometime in the beginning of Jan, it's either the 7th or the 10th. I spoke to him last. And I told him about the song that I have coming out. I say, bro, I got a song that I wanted to hear. The song is called Benny McCarthy. The first thing he told me on the phone, Young, let's do it together. Let's do it together, Young. Me and you, we do this. I tell him, Kiernan, I already did it. It's finished. It's finished. The song is done. I'm just telling you, I have the song and you're gonna like it. And before we go off the topic of Benny, I tell him on the phone, bro, I just want to say to you, thank you. I just want to say thank you to you because you phoned Benny that day, and we had that moment where we looked, at the phone, and it's me and you, and my brother was standing there also on the side, and he died also. And I never thought that the man on my other side was going to also meet this fate the same way. And the song comes out on Thursday, Benny McCarthy. The cover of the song is a letter that Benny wrote me when I was a lighty. I was fortunate enough to meet Benny. And Benny asked me, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I said, I want to be a rapper. And Benny wrote on my picture, because he gave me a photo of himself, and he signed the back of the photo. He said, all the best with the rapping. I hope your dreams come true. And I never thought, thank you, that I was going to have my dream turn into a nightmare when Benny was concerned and Kiernan was concerned. Because I look at those two men as icons in our land, South Africa. They're iconic. They did things that no other person of color has achieved yet. They are our role models, our examples for our children. And I made the song, Benny, and the opening line, the first line of the song, I say, channeling my inner Benny, I swear the referee saying that you mustn't push. Because that was one of my favorite videos of Benny when he told that referee, so it's like, yo, Marshall. I grabbed that video, so I was like, everyone said, no, he's saying you mustn't push. He's saying you mustn't push. So that's one of my favorite videos. So I opened the song with that line, channeling my inner Benny. I swear the referee saying that you mustn't push. I took AKA to an overpark and FaceTimed Benny while I was lumming with Oog, surrounded by OGs. A memorable moment that I never ever forgot. I miss Mr. Marcus. I went to the scene of the crime on the day he was shot. I'm talking about that friend of mine that I made the promise to, that died and he was shot and killed. I didn't think that writing those words down after AKA's name was any link between the two. There was no similarities between their lifestyle. There was no familiarities between their lifestyle. They lived two different places, grew up in two different ways, two separate cities, two versions of upbringing of life. There's no link between them. The fact that that song came out when he passed away, Kiernan, and those are my lines in the song, I don't know what, I can't tell you where that came from, but it came from a place of love to say that I took AKA to an overpark and FaceTime Benny as a moment I never forgot. I love that moment in my life. It was a top moment in my life, doing that, being in that moment. You must understand what it's like for a colored lighter to achieve what I did that day, to have these people around me. Gangsters is the most feared in the Western Cape. And Overpark, one of the most dangerous areas in the Western Cape. Benny McCarthy is one of the best football legends in the world. And AKA is one of the greatest musicians that we've ever had. And I was standing in the middle of all of this. And we survived it. I was just thinking to myself that, yo, we survived it. All of us. Benny survived it. Kiernan survived it. San survived it. Everyone made something of life, even though we weren't supposed to. Even though we were supposed to fail. Even though we were all supposed to meet our fate. Yeah, probably. In the same way. In the same area. We were never supposed to leave this area. But we didn't. We overcame the struggle. That's what the song Benny McCarthy is about. That's why I named it after him. The song is about struggle. The song is about pain. The song is about making it out of your circumstances like Benny McCarthy. That is why I named it after him. That's why I said I'm repping the city and taking it with me wherever I go, like I'm Benny McCarthy. Started from the bottom, came up to the Barclays. And Overpark or grassy. Doesn't matter which one. But you need to take yourself out of the environment that you're in. Sometimes physically, but you can just do it mentally. Even though I grew up here in Witterboom, my mind was never here. Even though my friends went to jail at a young age, my mind was never there. They became gangsters in prison, my mind was never there. Yes, it was around me. Yes, I was influenced by it. But my mind was there. I wanted to be in that thing. I thought, how do I get there? So I did everything in my power to get there. I'm sure for Benny, same story. Yes, he grew up in an overpark, but his mind was on the field. His mind was on the soccer field. I've spoken to people that told me they watched Benny training and how intense he was, even as a teenager, in training and being focused in his goals. No pun. The point I'm trying to make, to wrap it up, is that there's a lot of coincidences in life and things that happen. Divine intervention, I call it. I would like to also take this moment to let you know that the man that died with AKA Tibbs, please also keep him in your prayers and keep him in your thoughts. And whenever you say something for AKA, please say something for him as well. Because that man was the reason why we all came to know AKA. It's because of him. When I met Kiernan, that is who I met him with. The two of them hadn't been talking for years. The fact that they passed away together is only the Lord Almighty can arrange something like that. The fact they got to hug each other, only the Lord can play that role in our lives. He couldn't have planned it better. It's a shame we got to see him die. Because we watch videos like this here in the Western Cape and Cape Town every day. To see our brothers and sisters laying on the floor, dying. We see that every day. But never in a million years did I think I would see Kiernan like that. It was one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life, of somebody I knew, and somebody that I just felt lived a life that escaped all this traumas and escaped all this sadness. I thought he was gonna, you know, just continue being the super mega and live that life, and I was always gonna be here in Cape Town, and we'd always catch up every now and again, but never in my wildest dreams did I think I would see that man laying on the floor, like one of my brassa here in Wynberg or in Grassy Park or in Ottery. Even though he reached these high heights, he died the same way as so many colored youth do. And I'm gonna say this to end off, but when you get home today after, you know, lighting the candles and saying your say, just make sure that you hug your children when you get home, and you hug your loved ones when you get home, and you tell them that you love them, because I don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow. Nobody does. Like I said, I don't want to do things like this, but I felt it was necessary because that man gave me my first music video at my shop at a time when a lot of people wasn't really supporting us all the way. He did. So with that being said, I would like us all to know that we mourn the loss of Kiernan Jarryd Forbes, aka. There was nothing but love for that man here on this block that you stand on. That's why we brought you here today, because this is where he knew he was loved here from this facility. And I just wanted to know that I'm going to continue on my mission. I'm never going to stop my mission. And whether or not you support me, that's up to you. But I'm no longer going to force it on you. I'm no longer going to make it compulsory for you to support CPT artists and Cape Town artists. I did my part. I did the most that I could. I'm still doing it every day. Even when you're not watching or not looking or not liking, I'm still doing it. When I go to Joburg, I'm the only artist from Cape Town standing on that stage screaming Kaapstad. I'm the only one from 021. You must understand what that has been like for me over these years. You come on a low who you are. Some of them don't care who you are. But when I go there with the courage and bravery that you have my back when I come home. You have me when I come home. So, thank you once again for listening. I hope I didn't take up too much time. I could speak all day, but I just wanted to shed light on the fact that the music video I made with him was made here. The song that came out the other day was not made for him. It was not made for AKA. I did not make that song for AKA, but God's timing. God wanted me to give that song to him because he asked me on the phone to make the song with me. So that song was actually for him. And for Benny McCarthy, a legend also. And the last thing I will say is, please, if you have anybody you admire or love, aside from giving them hugs, give them their flowers also. People that you admire and respect, whether it's your elders or whether it's your family members, give them their dues, give them their respect, because they are the heroes without being celebrities. They are the heroes without writing songs. My role model is my mother. I will tell everyone that. I've been telling people that for years. My role model is not Tupac or Biggie, or because I don't know them. But I know my mother. I know what she's been through. I know what she done. I know how she raised me. I know it wasn't easy. So that is my role model. So to your local stars and your national stars, give them their flowers. I understand that the Western world has taken everything from us. It's corrupted us. It's corrupted everything. It's corrupted religion, clothing, food, music, movies. We are westernized. We live in a Western world. But you have homegrown talent here. You have homegrown singers and clothing designers and fashionistas and influencers and dancers that you can support. It doesn't have to be me. Support your own. And like I said, just give them their flowers while they're here. Because it's pointless you do it when these people are gone. It means a lot less when you do it when they're not here. Because all that flowers is going to do is rot on the grave. So once again I say thank you. We hope that Allah can put peace into the hearts of the families that were affected by this tragedy. We hope that their souls have safe passage into Jannah, into the next life. We ask that Allah put barakah and rizq into the qabr of Kiernan, and that he can make sure that his sins, at least some of his sins, is forgiven now because of the way he was taken. I believe he was taken out like that because Allah had to wipe some of his sins away now, so that when he comes into the next life, he comes in clean and pure. You can keep making dua for this man, please. And yeah, you know, it's wide until the end, bro. So wees Kaap tot laat. Salute. Safe. Can I go outside now? And let's light some candles for this man. Let's light up this corner here, bro. So much during load shedding with the Allah also. If you can just have a short moment of silence, please. And light your candles one by one. And then we'll cut in some of the rooms to sing out loud.
I know he just saved the day. Superhero, I gon' need a speedo and a cape. X-ray vision through your evil ways. Tell your people don't forget to pray. Don't forget to pray. Do you know that God is on the way? Don't forget to pray. Do you know that God is on the way? Swag drip when you trap kids who do whack shit for some smash. Classics for you bastards, I got mad hits in the Tupperware. Gold rings like I'm shopping ranks. Ideas for you fucking brands. White tears in the duffel bag, I'ma die here in the motherland. Don't forget to check the blind spot. Mirror, mirror, I'm an icon. Smoke it till I'm on the high horse. Don't forget to get the eye drops. Please be careful what you wish for. Rock and roll, Sex Pistols. Don't you niggas see the zip code? Bryanston, oh no. What you know about Les Mopacine? What you know about Kajima? What you know about Sam Doe? Anatii got the info.